Actually, I'm gonna wait to say it.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And today we have the Barnes, Michael, and Riley from the Couch Show. How we doing, gentlemen?
Yo!
Feeling great. Ready to go. Let's get after it.
Wow. That's beautiful. I love it.
It is a beautiful day. The tailgate is only a couple days
Sunday.
away.
Are you so excited, dude?
I could not be more excited. I was just telling you, I hadn't really updated my Jets merch in a while. Just got a nice shirt that I'm going to be donning for Sunday, so I'm excited about that. Excited to meet Rick and Dave. Excited to meet all the rest of the company that I haven't met yet.
Yeah.
And we are just going to have an outstanding day. Let's go. And we got comments already.
We got
Everybody's
comments. We
jacked
should
up.
definitely get to the comments. Riley, do you have access to the comments at all?
I do not. I can see them a little bit from over here. I cannot read.
Okay, I was gonna say if you do want, you could pull it up on yours, and going forward, you could be the comment guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Kev Dude does say, "Let's go." I don't have the
Page 5 right now, or is it not page 5? Or is that something? Yeah.
2 days till tailgate. We want the smoke. Play your position. Once again, we want the smoke. Hashtag rep the company. Hashtag rep DTV. Hashtag sportsport. The Giants are trash like the Mets and Yankees.
Wow.
Josh B, the company, says, "Good day, fine people." He's got another.
Let's go. Kevin Josh, always on top of it.
Hashtag rep the company. Hashtag rep DTV. Hashtag rep the sportsport. What time we doing picks? He wants to know.
So basically, Josh, we're just doing a quick welcome here, and then once we get into NFL, we're going to be ready for those picks. So time is ticking, but we already know the first pick you have locked in is the Jets, of course. I already wrote that down.
Real quick, though. So now that we have everybody here, because I don't know if everybody knows this. I don't know if you're Debbie Duhane out there. You have to talk to Debbie. It's supposed to be raining Sunday.
Right.
What are we doing for that? Are we getting a tent? Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be a little crazy. How are we going to?
I think a little bit of both, I guess. Plus,
Josh will call in. That is epic, legendary.
Yeah. And I think let's honestly talk to Josh about that too.
Yeah.
So let's get him in a couple minutes. I just wanted to start with some golf talk before we get there. And we were talking about before the show. Yesterday I played over at Gaynor Brennan in Stanford. Right down the street from my house, where you've played before, Michael. And I was playing me, Pooch, and Riley. And we had talked about how, I've been golfing with him probably, if I had to give an estimated amount of time, maybe 12 years, never beaten him. And he's on average, especially this season, I think he said his average is 82. Ooh. So he's shooting 85. It's a bad day. Yeah. He shot under 80 before. So it's just very frustrating. And when we started doing just a heads up match against each other, he was giving me literally 20 strokes around. And then it was floating. So if I won, it would go down. If he won, it would go up. So I've got it down to 10 going into yesterday.
Nice.
So we start on the front and, doing pretty solid. I end up with a 42. He shoots 40. So I'm chasing 2, going into the turn. And it was funny too. I remember last time I was telling you about how driving it, I've been struggling ever since that back 9. I was way left. So I just go real conservative swing, just get it out there, probably only hitting it 200, but didn't lose a ball or anything. So still want to work on that. But the whole key was, I just want to put myself in position. I'm not going to try to hit it 260 or whatever.
Yep.
So we get to the back 9, and really not making any mistakes. There was one double bogey But then going into 17, okay, we're tied. So I've made up, the 2 strokes against them. And so it's a par 3 short, like, maybe 130, 140 or whatever. I stick it on the green. He has to
Beautiful.
chip. And then he misses like a 6-7 foot par putt. I make mine. So I go into 18 up 1.
Were you feeling it?
Yeah.
You knew? Did you know?
So not necessarily, just because we literally exact same scenario. I want to say maybe 2-3 months ago, where we're tied going into 18, hit all perfect shots, didn't make a mistake, 2 putted part, he birdied, and I lost. So that was like so tough. This time, both hit good tee shots, but the only thing is, he actually goes farther than me, and it's like, let's call it a 270, 280 yard par 4, but the water is 200 yards out, and then you got to chip over the water to get in. So I hit my shot. It's short, so I go first. I chip it on the green, kind of hit it a little hard, so it's just on the fringe. But he goes, and his ball landed in mud. So when he chips, he doesn't get as good of and he's he's sticking it within 5 to 10 feet every time, but he doesn't get a good feel because of the mud. And it hits the tree that's right over the water, and then lands just in that rough area. So then he has to chip on. And then I have a downhill putt for birdie that's 40 feet. Get it within 5 feet.
Beautiful leg.
He chips on 2 putts, and I 2 putt, but I was on 1 short, so I end up parring it. He bogeys it, so I end up taking him out by 2.
Wow. First time?
First time, yeah.
That must feel great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, just one of those things he always talked about, it's never going to happen, all these jokes and stuff.
Yes.
And especially because, like I said, it was the same situation. I literally scored the same as I did that other time. He just didn't do as well, specifically on that hole. And I want to say, we've probably, if I had to guess, we've probably played, 300-400 rounds together. So just
that's crazy.
Think about how many times every time he's leading the pack. And I knew it was coming, and we had tied that time earlier this season, but to just finally do it was just awesome, especially here at the end of the season. Things had been
almost
going
like a
great.
championship almost.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's how it felt for Barnes for sure.
And I think it was I got shot in 83, and I had it. That was my best score in the last 5 weeks.
83
or something.
Is really good.
Yeah. So I was happy about it. And then it just got me jacked up, to think what could come, especially the fact, like I said, I didn't feel like I really hit a good drive all day. Didn't even take a full swing, just because I was just nervous about hitting out of bounds.
Sometimes that's all you need, man, though, to just push it out there and give yourself a chance.
Yeah. And Michael could attest. I just have this thing. It's so hard for me to let up. I have to go full out, go hard as I can.
Yeah.
So it's really tough. Have you got to golf at all this week?
I have not golfed this week. I'm going home this weekend.
Yep.
And the weather's supposed to be crappy. But I can definitely see me golfing next week, maybe twice here. I want to play Great River in Milford. And then maybe another Fairchild round.
Fairchild,
maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And I love fall golf. Do you love? I do like the orange leaf type of golf in that crisp weather. The minute it gets under 50, then it's kind of no-go for me.
Then it's a little rough. And then also too, I'm trying to think, because you've played Fairchild in the fall.
I've played Fairchild in the fall. Yeah, it does get a little hairy.
Right. And I was gonna say, because I think they don't do a good job of clearing the leaves, right?
Well, red sucks.
Yeah.
Black is the better course by far. They even keep black in better condition because they know it's better. So black, they'll care about. If you play red in the fall, though, you're putting over leaves. You gotta clear your line out of leaves.
Yeah. No, it's it is awesome. Yeah, especially when they take good condition of the course. And I know it's probably a little far, very close from me being in Stanford, but I don't know. Have you heard of Pound Ridge, New York?
I've not.
So it's right over the Connecticut line in New York. And it's the only Pete Dye designed course in Westchester or in New York, actually, or maybe even the Northeast. I don't know. But
wow,
just
it's a big jump.
Pristine and literally even nicer than Great River.
Yeah. That means Pete Dye.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So I thought of it because my Riley, my friend Riley, who I just played with, his birthday's coming. He's like, oh, I want to play the nice course. And he actually mentioned Great River, and we played that last year, but I was like, boy, like that Great River is nice, but this course is like even nicer. I would love to just play there again. Like feels like there literally could be a PGA Tour event there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
So I would definitely highly recommend that. Definitely pricey, just like Great River, because I think he was saying Great River is like 150.
I play there for 60.
Oh,
with the shoe card.
Okay. So you wouldn't be playing there. If it
I'm
wasn't
getting
for
municipal prices to play Great River.
that.
So
That is crazy.
it's
How many
clutch.
times have you played there?
I played there probably like 4 times. 4 or 5
Okay,
times.
how have you done?
It's not good.
Yeah, 'cause
That's a tough course. Water is on every single hole, on the back especially.
Yeah.
It's a really tough course. I think the best I've done there is like 91.
Oh, I honestly, I don't even think I've shot 105. Honestly, like it's been that like bad.
When's the last time you played there?
Last year.
We're a
Okay.
Fairchild?
But it's like no Great River.
Great River.
You know the Sacred
If you
Heart
keep
home
the
course?
ball-
Oh, yeah.
It's usually like the greens. Some people call it straight river.
Mhm.
Like the greens are if you just keep the ball in play
Mhm.
and you have putts, you can shoot well there. It's really not crazy to keep the ball in play.
Yeah, and the thing is, I probably have only played there 3 or 4 times, and then before last year, I hadn't played there in like 5-6 years, so I haven't really gone there when I've been like confident.
You gotta know the holes too. Like if you played there like in the same summer, you'd be like, oh, I remember what I did on this hole. Like I'm gonna do a little differently. That's kind of what you need there.
So yeah, I'm definitely due for a return trip there.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Make it happen.
Yeah, 100%. So definitely fired up about that. And like what you were talking about with like the 50 degrees and everything, like what do you think that's going to end up looking like end of next month?
I'd say, I'd say early November. You could even get some rounds in early November. Like if you get blessed, like, because we all know sometimes Thanksgiving's like that perfect, like 55 degrees and crisp with leaves. So that's like late November almost. So
Right.
It just depends on the season. I mean, every year, but hopefully I'm thinking early November, you can still play golf through this year.
And it's crazy too. I don't usually do it just because I don't like pressing it when it's like cold. It's just like not fun. But the course down the street from me literally is open all year. So if like there's a nice day in February, like I could go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's
the
just
ground's
like,
hard as rock.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's like tough. But at the same time, like, because I don't know, like I feel like socially the simulator is fun, but like in terms, it's not showing me anything. Like that
doesn't give you the same feel. You
right.
know? It's
like, do you ever do the sim or no?
Yeah, we have a simulator at school that me and my buddies go do sometimes.
Oh, okay.
So I do it, but it's not one of the best ones. But I've never done like a round on a sim.
Okay. Yeah.
I like hit balls into a sim.
Because I just feel like the putting is ridiculous.
Yeah, the putting doesn't make sense. That's what my thing I was asked. I was like, how does the putting even make sense?
And then like my boy did it where he does like a 10-foot raise, but it's like, are we playing mini golf like at this point? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could be better, but at the same time, I do have to say, like dead of the winter, if I had one like in my house or something, I would do it every day.
All day.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, that would be awesome. But before we move on here, Michael, did we have any more?
Matt is going off right now. Let's get there. Whew. He says Michael Barnes. Wow. We have canopies. He says
He's talking about the tailgate.
Yeah, tailgate. Look at the two of yous. Derek Hose Corner 2013 says hi there. Josh B, the company, says Matt, what it do? Matthew says Riley. Josh, my guy. Then Josh says yo. Then Matt says Riley, that hot sucks ass.
Dude.
And then Josh says Matthew, I second that. LOL.
Oh my god, that's funny. That is
To
good
each his
stuff.
own.
It fits Riley though. It fits Riley
To each his
well.
own.
But yeah, good stuff. Always appreciate hearing from Matt. Of course, and Derek Ho has been there every day commenting, so we appreciate him joining the DTV family. So yeah, Josh, what we're gonna do, we're gonna recap last night's game, and then we're gonna bring you on for the call. So just get prepared for that. But I'm sure we'll have at least 5 to 10 minutes recapping last night. But let's go now to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
Nay, ready to rumble.
Ready to rumble. Josh says, this is for Tony. Michael is the best at reading the comments.
Oh, wow.
And then
So
Josh says, I am ready.
I was, and I know obviously he's kidding, but like I was wondering what he meant by that, but that was meant to be like a joke at Tony.
No, I mean, I think he says, like, I am the best at reading the comments.
But which kind of indirectly.
He's a dig at Tony, yeah.
A scud.
A scud, as they would say.
But yeah, last night we kicked off week 3 in the National Football League in Santa Clara. You know, you had the Niners hosting the Giants. And
I watched the first half.
Really?
Yeah.
There we go, Michael.
Thank you.
And we had talked about, you know, going into this one, Giants beat up, Niners looking like potentially the best team in the whole league. So you didn't have, you know, high expectations for the Giants going into this one. Specifically, the injury of Saquon Barkley. You know, we've seen over the last couple
on the sidelines.
years.
You see him?
Yeah.
You know, just how important he is to this team. So, you know, you look at the first quarter of this game, really a defensive battle, only 6 points scored. The Niners get on the board first, and one of those patented Kyle Shanahan drives, you know, 15 plays, 64 yards, 6 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock. The rookie Jake Moody finishes it off with a 28-yard field goal. So that made it 3-0 Niners. And just a quick pause here for a second. And I know it's been since, you know, roughly the trade deadline time last year, but how natural and just like legendary does Christian McCaffrey look as a running back of the 49ers?
Dude, he's a beast.
But like, I feel like he's literally,
So
I know I'm
stupid.
getting ahead of myself and obviously I have to win championships, but I feel like he like reminds you of like the 49ers legends. Like he's Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana. Like he fits that mold. Like he's so good.
Unstoppable. He's unstoppable.
And it's interesting too, because there's been so much talk, you know, over the last few years of the devaluation of running backs, especially paying them a lot. And it's like almost to the extent, you know, maybe throw in Tennessee, where this makes sense. Like it makes sense to make Christian McCaffrey the highest paid running back in the league because he does so many things for this Niners team.
No, and he's just not a running back too. He's like
A wide receiver.
when I think of him, he's just a guy. Like,
Right.
He's just like,
Right.
you give him the ball in space and he makes good things happen for the team.
Yeah.
He's so good. I have him in fantasy as my first round pick. And it's just like you pencil him in for 25 points every week and a touchdown. Like you just know no one can stop him.
They can't guard him receiving.
And the way that Shanahan gives them the ball
Right.
is like the best. They do these little screens. They hit him with slants over the middle. He runs the ball, these pitches. It's just like
he could even throw it if he
throw
needs
the
to.
ball.
Very good there.
Like,
Yeah.
it's insane. He's so good. They are so good. Their
Sprained
offense
knee
is
playing
insane.
kickball first grade.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it is unbelievable. And we'll get to him more in a second. So Moody made it 3-0, and then we had about 5.5 minutes later, Graham Gano, a 44-yard field goal, a long 12-play, 49-yard drive for the Giants there. So that tied it at 3 going into the second quarter. But once again, this Niners team, it seems like every single time they have the ball, it's a long, thought-out drive, a great mix of run and pass. This one, 11 plays, 72 yards, capped off by a 9-yard pass from Purdy to Ronnie Bell. So that made it 10-3 Niners. Ronnie Bell, I believe, a 7th-round pick. It's just amazing. Yeah. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Brock Purdy. But what a good job San Francisco does in identifying talent late in drafts. It's almost reminds me of the Patriots, how back in the day, especially, obviously, it's changed a little bit, but they're
Definitely
almost
changed.
better at identifying late than they are early.
Oh, easily. Yeah, if you go through our picks, it's like we passed up on A.J. Brown for N'Keal Harry. But in the later rounds, we get these studs.
Right.
Because I feel like that's like Bills. And the same thing with the Niners, I feel like, what do you think personally about Purdy? Like, do you think he is a good quarterback?
No, and Rick and Dave were talking about this morning on the radio, and Dave was still saying that he thinks Purdy is good, but excels because of Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
He would rather have Daniel Jones, but I think that's
No,
a
I don't
joke.
know about that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's a
Yeah.
joke. I think Purdy is
I just think
well above
He's
Jones.
They're
just a
paying him
professional.
Right.
Purdy's a professional.
Purdy's a professional.
He's like in this. You could just
he
tell
doesn't
he's in the
make
film
mistakes.
room.
He doesn't make any mistakes.
And I'm not saying he's like a great quarterback, though,
Right.
but he can manage the
Yeah.
offense with all the talent. At least, like he's just like, oh, let me. Like some throws, dude. I was saying last night with Tony, I'm like, dude, that he looks like Zach Wilson sometimes.
right.
That
Yeah,
dude,
he
no,
has those
seriously,
throws
yeah.
here and-
Yeah, and then it's like, but then he makes the throws, that one to the touchdown, the first
Right.
touchdown in the corner when he had the pressure on him, and
Yeah.
he just whips it.
Yeah.
Like that was sick.
Yeah. That was.
And yeah, it is amazing what he does. But what I was saying too about Jones is like, I feel like Purdy at worst, you want to say he's top 15. He might even be able to sneak in the top 12 or 10.
Yeah,
But Daniel Jones, I feel like is like
he just went
not
down.
even top 20, maybe give him the 20th spot. And I don't even know if you could do that.
And
so
they're paying him so
Yeah,
much
that's the
money.
thing, too.
next year, they're not going to do it. But if they wanted to release him, it'd be $69 million in dead money.
Bro.
So obviously that's
all
not going to
the
happen.
one playoff win.
Yeah, I knew it from the start, and we're seeing the results here. And we'll get to more, the Giants' rest of the season in a second. But a point I wanted to make that we talked about earlier, but just continuing on here. So it was 10-3 Niners. Giants not able to do anything when they get the ball back on offense. But a minute 40 left. Christian McCaffrey punches in a 4-yard touchdown run. I believe he scored every single game he's played for the Niners. Another 11 play, 73-yard run, 4.5 minutes off the clock there. So another good mix of run and pass. And then the Giants are able to salvage something late, with 13 seconds left after an 8-play, 37-yard drive. They get Gano from 57 yards to make a field goal. So that made it 17-6 going into the half. Giants, getting the ball back to start the third quarter, unable to do anything, have to punt. Defense makes a stop though, and then they get a Matt Breida 8-yard touchdown run. They decide to go for 2 to make it a field goal game. Don't get the 2-point play. Jake Moody makes a 21-yard field goal on another 11-play, 72-yard drive. So that stretches it to 20-12. On to the fourth quarter. Giants don't score again. Niners have 2 8-play drives that result in a 36-yard field goal and a 27-yard touchdown pass from Samuel to Purdy, and that making it 30-12. No scoring the final 6 minutes of the game. Niners are 3-0. Giants are 1-2. And I just think it was a thorough domination of the New York Giants, and it's what I expected going into this game. I know 10.5 seemed like a lot, but that's why I laid it in my picks with Tony, because I just feel like it just was not going to be close. The Niners excel on too many different levels that the Giants aren't even close on.
Yeah, they're just too good. And I wanted it to be close. Like just watching, I was like, oh, make it close, make it close. But I mean, like you said, the Giants are not a good football team, in my opinion. And the Niners, you could argue, maybe is one of the best teams in the league. And I honestly think it was closer than what I would even think it was going to be.
Right.
Like they made that little run. The kick before halftime was big. And then I thought they were going to maybe come out. But the minute I was telling my roommates, the minute that first drive stalled out and they didn't score on the first drive, it was the game.
Yeah.
The game was over.
And it's interesting because I don't think it affected the outcome of this game, but they really did get screwed on that Leonard Williams roughing the passer.
Oh,
that
yes.
was
bullshit.
ridiculous.
That was bullshit.
And that's one thing moving forward. I understand you want to keep star quarterbacks on the field. For number one, though, I mean, certain things are going to happen regardless if you're officiating the way that they do, but we got to figure out a way to better judge roughing the passer, because it's like, what more was Leonard Williams supposed to do in that situation?
Nothing. All he did was play football.
Right.
He tackled him and they called it. And I don't know, man. That's just, it's so ticky tacky. Like,
because then if you don't hit him hard enough, you're not going to sack him.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's football. Like he hit the court. It didn't hit him in the head.
Right.
All he did was wrap him up and fall on him. And that's a flag now. And it's like, what can you do now?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that was terrible. But like I said, I don't think that, affected the final outcome of the game.
Yeah.
And one thing too, going into the year when we did our predictions, caught a little flack. I was saying, I think the Giants are a 5 or 6 win team. It was going to be tough with a tougher schedule to duplicate last year. Last year, no expectations. This year, definitely some expectations of going back to the playoffs. And even, Dave, being the huge Giants fan that he is, he was running through the schedule today, and he came up with 4 or 5 wins for the Giants this year.
I was looking at it last night. They go Seahawks,
Bills, Dolphins. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and then it was funny too. I was talking to my dad on the phone this morning about the game last night, and he was saying, "Oh, I think they should beat Seattle." I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't think we could just go into that game assuming that they're going to beat Seattle.
Seattle is not a bad football team at all."
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to play the Cowboys again. They play the Rams, they play the Eagles,
and it already seemed like, and I guess I wasn't really sure of what Dave's take going into this season was on Daniel Jones, but like we just spoke about, he was kind of already alluding to the fact that they can get out of the contract after next season, that it's just not going to be a long-term answer. And not to say that he is, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, but the fact that they give him $40 million at the end of the day just destroys this team.
I don't know why they gave him that money.
Right.
It just doesn't make much sense to me. I thought he was a good quarterback, but good quarterbacks.
We're not playing patty cake over here.
$40 million. You just don't.
Yeah.
Great quarterbacks get $40 million.
There's nothing. My thought was initially, and I know it sounds a little low for a starter, but then again, he is a back-end starter. Going into it, I thought on the open market, I really didn't think he was going to get more than $25 million.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
somewhere around there, 30 range, 25, 30 range.
I don't know why they thought, they had to go to $40 million. And it's interesting too. I think he was banged up going into the first game, ends up playing, and he's played all the games this year. But I really am surprised. And like I said, not that I had expectations for the Giants this year, that there hasn't been more of an impact from Darren Waller. He's been healthy.
Yeah. They did try to give him the ball a couple times last night. I think he should target him more. There were some bad throws in his direction, too. There was also one in Waller's chest that he didn't really fight for and try to make a catch for. So I agree. They paid him all the money. He is technically the guy in that offense now. He should be getting the ball more. But I think they are lost in general on offense. They have so many wide receivers, that team. Like Jalen Hyatt is their big draft pick. He didn't really touch the ball last night. Didn't touch the ball once. Paris Campbell got the ball a lot. Slayton had one catch. Like, they have so many just like guys. I feel like it's like it's so jammed, and Daniel Jones doesn't know who to give the ball to.
Yeah. So it's not good. Giants, like we said, they're going to host Seahawks Monday Night Football next week. Niners get the Cardinals before a big matchup with the Cowboys, who lost Trevon Diggs yesterday to that ACL in practice, which is tough, but that should still be a marquee matchup. So we'll see what happens with both of these teams moving forward. And Michael, I believe we have a call here.
We do. You are live on the Sports Port. Over.
Tight? Really?
Load.
Who is it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Josh, like jumping the gun, kind of.
He could be called back right now.
I think no, but it's not Josh though, because you would know if it was Josh.
Oh yeah, true. No, I'm just wondering why this isn't. It says it's connected,
but they're not on the line, so they hung up.
No, I hung up. I said call back. If you just call back.
Could be the realtor though, or no? Like that was ridiculous with the realtor.
That was hilarious. Watching that live.
But I just can't believe that she answered the question seriously, and that the fact that what are the chances she's a Jets fan?
Okay, we're having a phone call right now. Hello. What's going on?
Should we just get them on speaker just to like make sure they're there?
No. Let's disconnect here. Sometimes you gotta just reprogram the thing. You know what I mean?
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. The rest is history. That's why the present is called a gift. Brian likes that.
Oh my God.
Technical difficulties are tough, folks, but you always overcome them. All right, let's see if we got something here. Hello.
Sounds like someone's
like someone's there.
Hello. Hello, it's Hot Take Johnny. How you guys doing?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Big shout
Coming
out
in
to the
hot.
company.
Yeah, big shout out.
Yes.
Big
Oh,
shout
wait a
out.
minute. Hold on. Can you guys hold on? Yeah, okay. The Giants defense just missed another tackle against the 49ers. Sorry.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
But I'm coming for blood, Michael.
How you holding up?
I didn't, as I said, I didn't expect them to win. My issues are just the things they can control, like the defensive line getting no pressure.
Can't get off the field on
the
third
missed
down.
tackle. Yeah. Oh my God. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15. Well, and here's my issues with Wink Martindale on that. He's so predictable that he's always going to blitz multiple guys. That things like screens and stuff work well because you then know you're getting one-on-one blocking. There's no extra men to make those tackles. So when I'm 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, things like that, they run a quick screen and the defense gets proper blocking. There's no extra man. The defender doesn't have to beat anyone. So I get frustrated with his predictability. It happened last year against Minnesota in the regular season game. He blitzed on a 3rd and long again. They went right to Jefferson on a screen. Big first down. That was on a play or a drive that killed it for him. I'm frustrated with that. The lack of running the ball and pretty much the entire game because the Giants were in it through the beginning of the 3rd quarter. And yeah, just frustrated with things like that they can control.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think most of America, here didn't expect the Giants to win, but definitely keep it closer. And we were talking about that 10.5, trying to cover that yesterday, but you pass for 137, you run for 29. I mean, that's not going to get you anywhere. And I know, like you said, the defense didn't step up. But I just feel like at the same time, I mean, you got to be better on offense. And I know the Niners are really good and Bosa got his first sack of the season. And now with Barkley saying it's a high ankle sprain, maybe he'll be out longer than he expected. Is there any way to fix this offensively?
Yeah, get more creative on offense. I mean, you don't see any jet sweeps. You don't see not the reverses you can run all the time. You don't see anything that throws the defense off. It's just to sit back there and 4 or 5 wide receivers. And against the 49ers, it was quick, short routes to get rid of the ball quickly, but that becomes predictable. There's nothing. There's no changeup. There's no 10 screen over the middle. There's nothing. There was no even deep shots. Not even bringing in extra blockers and try to go deep. There's no using Hyatt with the speed. I think the things are fixable on offense. Attempting to run the ball, so play action actually works. So I think it's fixable, but I don't see any frustrating. I don't see any inventiveness from or creativity from Daboll. And you look at the 2 different offenses, and I know they run different styles, but you see all the things San Francisco does to give their players advantages with pre-snap motion, and receivers going one way, the offensive line going another, as far as like run blocking and stuff, deception. None of that with the Giants. I think some of this is fixable. Yes, offensive line, no, you can't fix something like that. It's an off-season situation.
And I am kind of curious your perspective, and I'm guessing, just from talking to you that it seems like, you're going to stay optimistic for your team. Of course, you're really invested into the season. But what I'm going to get to, though, is do you feel like, with the schedule coming up, if you can't get it done next week against the Seahawks, that there really isn't a path to respectability the rest of the year, given the upcoming opponents?
Yeah. And one of the reasons why is like fight. Like I don't see this team they came out flat in 2 of the 3 games. I mean, if you can't beat Seattle to this point. I don't know if they do. I mean, Miami's a loss, and then from there on out,
Bills.
I don't see them beat the Eagles. Yeah,
I don't know how you could beat the Bills.
New England, I would question beating them. I mean, because that defense is really good, and against our. I mean, I know they'll have a great offense, but our defense, the only way we get pressure is by blitzing. And we paid all that money to Dexter Lawrence, drafted Thibodeau. Williams is making a lot. Drafted Ojulari, who I didn't play last night, but he was a 2nd-round pick. And we get no pressure. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
got to get to the quarterback more. And I thought it spoke volumes. And I know he's realistic. But like Dave this morning, going through the schedule with Rick and coming up with 4 or 5 wins, I mean, that it just is the fact that he said that, I was surprised.
Yeah. Well, football is won in the trenches, and the Giants aren't good in either of them. The game will always be one of the trenches, whether it's passing or running game.
Right.
And the Giants aren't good in either of them. So, it's what do you expect? And I understand they thought the defensive line would be better. The players aren't playing up to what they should, but the offensive line, I don't. It's just a complete and utter failure. And then Waller just hasn't impressed me at all. I thought he would be better than he is. I still think it was worth the risk, what the trade they got for him. I think you make that trade every time, but he was supposed to be the guy that made everything else easier for everyone else. He's supposed to get the separation, get the double teams, and then when he did get the ball, make plays. And when he's caught most what's thrown to him. Although last night I think he had the obvious tip off his hands that was an interception, and then the other difficult one on third down. He got 2 hands on it. I know it wasn't the best throw, but he got 2 hands on it. To me, he should have caught it. He hasn't been the explosive player I think the Giants were counting on and need for this offense to function well.
Yeah.
I talked 4 or 5 wins. Yeah, it's probably about right.
And I talked about it going into this season, and I know there's excitement about Hyatt and some of the other Giants receivers, but I just thought, how do you not address the wide receiver position in the offseason? There's no true number 1 receiver on this team.
Yeah, well, I think Waller was supposed to be that. If you look at New England with Gronkowski all those years, other than the Randy Moss, but the last how many years Gronkowski was, and it made the other players be able to be more effective. Same thing with Kelsey now and Kittle before Debo got there. That was still a pretty good passing offense, and he was, and Kittle was the main guy. So I think if Waller lived up to what the Giants were hoping, then he is the number 1 and creates those mismatches, opening up other people. But it's not happening. And I honestly.
Even so, though, you know what I mean? Think about the Patriots with Gronk. They had Welker. They had Edelman. You know what I mean? There's no one even – I think that the Giants have a bunch of number 3 wide receivers, not even a true number 2. I mean, really, Hyatt could develop into that, but
Hyatt could be.
Hyatt is the guy.
Yeah.
To me, Hyatt's the guy who I think at this point should be – Wan'Dale Robinson. It was his first game back. I think they view him as a – I think they view him as that slot – quickness going to get you those catches, not huge yards, but get you that 8-9 every time he catches it. But I think Hyatt's the guy that I know he's young. They talked about his route running that was the issue with him falling in the draft was a tendency he didn't run the full NFL route tree. But you see the speed. I just would like to see him in the game more than they had. They had 9 plays last night through the third quarter with him, and he had no catches. He's someone I would get the ball in reverses. I line him up in the backfield and hand it to him sometimes. I get him on quick screens. Get him the ball in easy situations where he has the ball in his hands and can use his speed, and they don't do that at all. Rub routes. I don't see any rub routes from the Giants. Why not?
He didn't even have a catch last night, Hyatt. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Why are you not lining him up on the outside and doing a rub route to get him across the middle with the ball? So his defender is rubbed off him, which everybody does, it seems, but the Giants, and then get him in the open field.
Even a jet sweep with him, I'd love.
Yeah. Absolutely. Reverse something.
And I feel like there's other factors that go into it and could help him. But I kind of said this, and we were just talking about, giving Jones that contract, and, they were excited. He beat the Vikings, but it is the Vikings in the playoffs. We saw what happened with the Eagles, and here we are again, primetime game, great defense, well-coached team. Where is he? I just have to question it. Can Daniel Jones beat a good team with a good coach and a good defense, especially on the road? It really doesn't seem like it.
I think he can. I think he's a good quarterback. But look what he's worked with his entire career. He's never had a below average offensive line. It's always been bad. It has been bad his entire existence. His receiving core, you guys just talked. He's never had a good receiving core. I mean, how much he's had Saquon Barkley, and that's about it. You can't. I mean, I know it's only a game here, a game there, but look at Tom Brady when he had a good pass rush. He looked not the same. Patrick Mahomes against the 49ers, I know it was one game in the Super Bowl, didn't quite look as good. Daniel Jones is not on that level, so then I think he's still good. But then when you take bad offensive line, receivers that aren't creating separation, and a defense that doesn't get off the field, it's all on him essentially. And he hasn't played bad this year at all. I mean, two of his interceptions three of them now were tips. Yeah, 3 of them now are tipped up and picked off. That should have been
already
caught.
know what Barnes is thinking. He's just thinking, if you're a good quarterback, you make everybody around you better. I've seen it before.
No, all I was saying is just be careful. Be careful. And I still believe he's far above Zach Wilson. But I'm saying just from being so scarred about that, be careful with just thinking, well, if this was like that, if that was like that, because you get into that trap and the next thing you know, seasons go by of no results. So I just think, listen, he's a starting quarterback, but giving him $40 million, I have a hard time believing that when that contract is done or they get out of it, that it's not going to be looked at as a mistake.
I don't view it. First of all, the other options weren't any. Like David Carr's not any better than him. Garoppolo's not any better than him. It's only 2 years, and if you look at how much they're paying for him compared to everyone else in the league right now, it is not. And you got to take rookie quarterbacks out of that equation because rookie quarterbacks are on set contracts, so you have no choice. If you look at against all the other established starters that have gotten a second contract, every other one is looking in the much higher than him. So I think with where they were, it's either that or if they don't sign him, they're essentially tanking this year. Because if you take away him and you put in Garoppolo in here, they're not going to sign Carr because why do you go from Jones to Carr? That's a lateral movement at best. So it was then, okay, we're going to tank on this season and go with Tyrod Taylor. The Giants weren't tanking on the year, especially coming off of last year. But I think they did the smart thing, gave them 2 years. If they crap the bed the rest of the year, they can draft a quarterback and give him a year under Jones.
Yeah, no, they definitely can. And I know I keep hammering this point home, but I have to argue though with this. If they had not given the money to Jones and with Dable giving him Gardner Minshew and invested more money on the rest of this team, I have to say, I have a hard time believing it wouldn't look a lot better. I don't think.
Okay, so question. So let's play that out. It looks better. This team is 6-10, 7-9, because they're not going to be way better than that. Then what do they do? They're not drafting a quarterback that high. At that point, they're better. They're what? They're 12th, 13th, and 14th in the league. I mean, in the draft order. And then what? Then they're still in the need of a quarterback.
Yeah,
so I think that's just once again that's just putting it off for what reason? Now you're bringing Gardner Minshew for what reason instead of at least they know what they knew what they had in Daniel Jones.
Are we talking about the Jets or the Giants here?
So,
right?
I mean, it's basically the same. All I'm saying is I know Michael agrees with me. Gardner's being overlooked.
Yo, always.
Yes.
I've always loved Gardner from day one.
No, I've been saying that, but the Richardson concussion complicated
I will
things.
say here, Garoppolo signed 3 years, 72. He's getting $23 million a year. And so that
my God. I mean, that's so much. Garoppolo's better than Jones. That's the thing. So that's why the 40.
No, he isn't.
But we gotta look at, but the only thing I have to say is at some
weird
point,
how Giants fans are obsessed with Daniel Jones.
We have to look at stats.
No,
we
I'm
have
not
to look
obsessed with him. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's great.
We have to look at track records.
I don't think he's great. I think he's good.
But you know,
I think Daniel Jones is good. I think if he's on and he has everything around, he's kind of like Kirk Cousins. Everything around him is good. He can perform well. If not, he's not going to go out and win you everything.
But almost like but just like what you said about wasting the time with Gardner Minshew going 7-9, isn't that the same thing with Daniel Jones? Like you're not expecting to keep him long term, are you?
Yeah, is he the guy?
Probably. I think if things around him are good, he could be a long-term solution if things are good around him. Because the other part about paying him, about not having to pay him a ton of like the ridiculous, like if he's making 20 a year, quarterbacks are getting 40, 50. So that savings can allow you to invest in other things that can make kind of like Eli, that first Super Bowl had such a good offensive line, had such a good defense. Everything else around him was able to be good. If you could spend that extra money on other stuff, you can have a much more balanced team, which is usually what happens when you have the rookie quarterbacks like Russell Wilson had a much deeper team because they didn't spend a lot of money on him. I think that's the one benefit of having a good quarterback you don't spend a ton on. Now, obviously, if you have Mahomes, you spend the money because he makes you so good. But if minus someone of that caliber, having someone a little less to give you the ability to spend more. So I think it could work out well. His running ability, he's as fast as Lamar Jackson when he runs. His accuracy when he has time is good, but it's just the fact is this offense stinks, which kind of, you want to talk about a hot take. I'm starting to wonder, Dayball loves to throw the ball with Saquon. He does run it because he has him, but his offense is pretty vanilla. I'm starting to wonder if he just loves to throw it too much and he's good at getting quarterbacks not to turn it over, but I mean, they threw a ton with Josh Allen of Buffalo. We know not running enough was an issue. Without Saquon, the Giants didn't run the ball yesterday. I'm starting to wonder how good his offense. Not saying it's bad, but not as good as maybe it looks because Josh Allen.
And I think it's the same thing no matter what team we're talking about, what coach we're talking about. You're nothing without a quarterback. Of course, he's going to look good with Josh Allen. Think about how much better he plays than Daniel Jones. And then the fact that he has Stephon Diggs and he has Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, no doubt, would be the Giants' #1 receiver, not even close if he was on the team. And he's their third option because they have the tight ends, they have Diggs. So I just feel like it depends what you're working with. So I don't think Dable should be judged until he has a legit top 10, top 15 quarterback, and he just doesn't have that right now.
He has the second highest paid.
But you look at like Kyle Shanahan is able to scheme stuff. Brock Purdy, when he first started last year, I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. Do I think if he had to carry an offense without, that offense is designed, as far as design, that's an elite offense just in design. Then he's got a good offensive line and good weapons. Yeah. Yes, as offensively, yes. You take that. If you put him on, I don't know, Washington, you think Brock Purdy is doing what he's doing? No, I think he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but I don't think he's elite level. But with all that talent around him, he plays elite. So I think Daboll doesn't have those things, but he also doesn't do anything to help him with design. You like yesterday, just coming out, quick throw. There was no answer once the 49ers started creeping up and tackling right away. There was no answer to that. It was like, all right, this is what I was coming out to do. They counted it, and now I'm here. And
one thing that's common that we have to see, kind of just to wrap up this game, and it just reminded me kind of the Jets last week, where teams panic because they're in a hole and then they abandon the run. And I think that's one thing you got to learn from, because it's like, listen, I know you want to score points quick, but if you're going 3 and out passing the ball, you're not scoring anyway. So I think that's one thing to learn, no matter what the circumstances are. Sure, if you're down 4 touchdowns, you're not going to run the ball every play, but you can't abandon the run. Especially if you're the lesser team, you're never going to win the game if you do that.
Correct. And also in the Giants situation with an offensive line that is a lot of people moving around different spots stinks. We've all heard it years and years. It's easier to run block. That is the easier thing to do. And on top of that, when you have a good pass rushing team like the 49ers, when they start picking up on the fact you're not running, they're just going to pin their ear back. That doesn't help your offensive line at all. They're not great pass protectors as it is, and now they know that's all you're doing. And it's, like you said, you're not down 28 points. You're still in the point where you can run the ball, but you're making it easy on the defense against you. You're just never – and Breida, I know it was only 4 carries, but he averaged 4.2. And not to say that would continue, but they give him the chance, 4 carries. You don't know if that would continue. And, if it does start to continue, now you get the play action off of it, where play action then brings the linebackers up, and now you use someone like Hyatt's speed to get deep. That's where you get a lot of deep pass, or not a lot, but it's a way to create your deep pass game, is to get the run game going a little bit, get a little play action in there. Then you can throw over top of the defense, or at least between the safeties and the linebackers, because the linebackers are biting up. So just abandoning it altogether, once again, I'm wondering where he's an offensive guy. Like, what is he doing to make things easier on the team? Especially with the back. I understand you can only do so much, but at least something different. That's the frustrating point. Knew we were going to lose, but seeing them come out, and then the defense. I mean,
yeah, I was just about to say that. I think it's on both sides of the ball. Like,
oh yeah,
the pressure. I feel like you pick Thibodeau. I love Thibodeau out of college, but I just feel like last night, and I know the Niners' offensive line is fantastic. I know that, but I feel like we saw this with the Cardinals too. Just like no pressure on we saw in the first quarter with the Cardinals, but I just feel like no pressure on the quarterback with the guys that you have in that line that I feel like should be guys. I just want to hear what you think about that.
Oh yeah, Dexter Lawrence. You got all that money. Where's his pressure up the middle? Williams, he's getting paid $30 million, and we signed him after he had a good year, and he hasn't been the same. Now I understand from if I remember correctly, when Williams got hurt last year, they moved Dexter Lawrence into his position, and Lawrence played so well he stayed there. So Williams is not in the same position. I know it's both defensive tackle, but you do different things on the spot you're, and versus tackle. You do different things based on the spot you're in. So I get that a little bit, but there also is on passing downs, one-on-one matchups. Other than stunts and stuff, it's still the same going against, a right guard or a center or a left guard. It's still kind of, you got to beat your man. And the frustrating part is the missed tackles, like you said, Thibodeau not getting any pressure at all. And the no turnovers. I granted, with interceptions, part of that has to do with the quarterback throwing a bad pass. There's in the end zone, the first touchdown. Was it Banks? I think it was, had a chance to pick. It went off his hands.
He did, yeah.
That would have been huge. Yeah, I mean, so that making that play, you have to make that interception. Stripping a guy. I mean, I don't get, it's how the Giants haven't created a turnover by stripping or I mean, some of these tip balls, that's just kind of luck. But I guess when you're not winning, those are the things that don't go your way. Yeah, it's frustrating. Wink, I don't know, man, 2 years in a row, his defense wasn't great last year. Didn't have the players. Supposedly have him this year. And
yeah. And I think right now we're at a turning point in the season. You have 11 days to work out these kinks, and you have to beat the Seahawks if you want to salvage the year. You got to beat the Seahawks. If you don't, then you're looking at a pretty long season, I think. So we'll have to see. But adjustments need to be made, and like we were just saying, defense has to play better, but also can't go into a game against the Niners expecting to win with 12 points. The offense has to do a lot better, even without your top running back. Next man up, you got to do it. But one thing before we move on here, I just wanted to ask you. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot like I did yesterday, but if you could give us one, I guess, dark horse upset pick for the games on Sunday.
One dark horse upset pick. Oh boy. You mean as far as like against the spread goes?
Outright
or just
dog.
a win?
Outright dog.
Just to win.
That's a tough one. I think the Rams beat the Bengals.
Okay,
I like that.
Okay, I do think that is a good
The
one.
Rams are playing well.
Bengals don't look
I think
good.
so.
Stafford's
still
playing
hurt.
well.
Yeah, Stafford's playing really well. He's got the. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's hobbled, and the Rams have been playing well. What's that receiver's name? The rookie, I can't say his name.
Puka Nacua, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, he's been playing well, and McVay's a good coach. I think he's a little energized here, being the underdog, not being picked. I think it's kind of, when they were the favorites going there, I think it put a lot of pressure on him. And I think it's different when you're unexpected. I think it's just a fresh, he's got a bunch of young players in there. I know he's got some vets, but some young players bringing in some new blood. Coaching young guys, I'm sure, is a little different than coaching your veterans. So I think it's maybe it's revigorated him a little bit. And Stafford has something to prove, that, hey, I'm not washed up, and because people were questioning whether he'd even play anymore. So, yeah, I got the Rams, Rams beating the Bengals.
Yeah,
nice.
No, I love that one, and I agree with everything you're saying, overlooking the Rams. So that should be great. We got 2 Monday Night Football games again, so looking forward to watching that. And we're looking forward to Sunday, seeing you at the tailgate. That's going to be a great time, so definitely. Can't wait for that. And so we're gonna actually get Josh is gonna give us our company picks. We're about to get him on the line, but of course, great catching up with you, and can't wait to see you on Sunday.
Absolutely, see you guys Sunday.
All right, thanks for the call.
I hope you're ready for the rain. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. And that
bye.
Was Hot Take Johnny. So Josh,
the rain is tough.
If we get, let's bring Josh.
Josh, call
Josh,
him,
where are you?
Josh,
right
can we
now.
get to the comments? There's like a million.
Yeah, go to the comments. But Josh, call right
now. Lonnie, he said.
Let's go!
This is a while ago. This is 30 minutes. Good morning, gentlemen. Giants don't look good on both sides of the ball so far this season. Tailgate this weekend, hoping for good weather so we can vibe out. # rep the company, # DTV. Matthew says, Lonnie. And then Matthew says, Giants stink, bro. And then he says, last year looking like it was a mirage. And then Lonnie says, second year of a rebuild looking more like ground zero. And then Matthew says, that call was such bullshit, in reference to that call that we were talking about like 30 minutes ago.
It sounded like you were talking about him calling it.
Oh, yeah, I know. My dad and I were like, are you fucking kidding me? Weak call. That was a clean hit from Williams. And then Lonnie said, it's sad from both New York teams. Got all these primetime games to show the world that teams are dreadful. Lonnie said, scud tissue. Then he said, where's Tony when you need him? Mike over here fumbling the bag.
And I believe we have the Prez on the line.
I'm not fumbling the bag. This show is even better than Tony could ever dream of. Hold on a sec. Josh, you're live. Let me just finish the comments real quick. Hot Take Johnny coming in with the scuds. Lonnie says, good point, Lonnie. Matthew says, on display for all of America to see the hat. Garbage. And then Lonnie says, the laughing stock, Matt. Danny V, come on, it's 2 games in. They played Cowboys and Niners. They haven't looked great, but gotta have some faith.
I don't know about all that.
And then Lonnie says, B. Riley, what up, my boy? Fitted gang.
What's up, Lonnie?
And then Lonnie continues, the faith hasn't gone anywhere, Bernie, not yet. And then Lonnie adds, it's hard to say this because it hurts, but the Giants defense fucking stinks. And then Lonnie adds again, I've seen babies tackle other babies over toys harder than that shit I seen last night, which, you know, that's crazy. And Lonnie adds, Giants aren't starting no African-American quarterback first season. Stop it. And then Josh adds, here we go. Don't let Lonnie get started, LOL. And then Anthony Materiello says that's bogus to this show being anything better than he can ever imagine. He knows it's true. He knows.
And that's the great Tony
He's
from the car.
nervous. Yes, it is. He's the best. He got Riley really prepared. Good
Absolutely.
job.
And we got Josh on right now.
Josh, you are live.
What up, what up, what up?
Yeah.
Shout out the company. Let's go. 2 days to the tailgate.
Wow.
Man, it's going to be epic and legendary.
This could get ugly quick. Let's just get right to this. So Michael is looking for you to ease his concerns about the weather.
Come on,
what do you
Josh,
got for us,
help me.
Josh? Let's hear it.
Well, we're
me
doing
down.
rain dances in the chat, as you know, so we'll see what happens.
Is it supposed to like pour?
I just looked it up. Actually, not to hijack this conversation
You just
here.
did.
So basically, because I always go a couple different sources. You can't just go weather app that doesn't always tell the true story. So I went AccuWeather. Looks like it's like give it a 50-50 proposition. So all I'm saying, Michael, is usually you see that, yes, there's going to be some rain, but I would imagine it's not going to be like, oh, it's going to rain for 5 hours. I think we might be looking at, maybe we get there, rains for the first hour or two, then clear the rest of the way. That's my prediction. Joshua, what do we got?
I think hopefully we get a window where we get no rain. It rains before we get there. It rains after we leave. Done. Call it a day.
Wow, talk about a rain dance.
Yeah, there we go. But you go multiple weather sources, right, Josh?
Well, I usually just use the one on my app.
Yeah, no,
and then
he
whatever
doesn't-
my wife says or whatever other people say. Yeah,
And Debbie Duhane.
No, but she's
Well,
traffic,
Debbie does the
remember?
traffic. Debbie does the
No,
traffic.
no.
Lottie made fun of me for saying that.
Who does the
it's
weather?
Star on picks.
Yeah, star.
Wait, so
Yep.
I've been meaning to ask, like, what was the connection there? Like, how did like it become about with Star? Like, you guys like being riled for?
Oh, that's Lonnie's. That's all Lonnie's doing. He heads that up.
Oh, because he
I don't know
thinks
how
she's
he got
beautiful.
connected with her.
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't sure. If she was at like some
I'm sure I can
event
call her
or
and defend
anything.
himself.
Like, you know what I mean? I just wasn't sure what the connection was.
Explain. He just started sharing it, and we just start liking it and sharing it. Try to like and share everything he shares as much as possible. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we can't wait for Sunday for sure. I just wanted to ask you real quick before we get to the picks here. What was your thoughts on kind of our conversation, with Hot Take Johnny before with the Giants? I mean, where are you at with kind of them moving forward the rest of the way?
No, I agree with everything you're saying. With what you said, Daniel Jones, he's not a top anything quarterback. He's barely, preseason, the discussion was, could he possibly be top 3 quarterback in the NFC? And he's not even showing that.
No.
But then again, he doesn't have the weapons. He doesn't have Saquon. He did look better with Saquon second half of last game. But other than that, they really haven't shown anything.
Right. And then I just think,
and like you say, and like you always say, quarterback with the good team or without a good team around him is going to show you something.
right. And the fact that Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl with no offensive line, I think shows you all you need to know. And the fact too, I mean, I think Daniel Jones is going to be the only quarterback ever to throw 15 touchdown passes and then get $40 million per season. I don't think we'll ever see that happen again.
He is the second highest paid quarterback in the league. He makes $6 million more than Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Yeah,
Yes. That doesn't make any sense.
That's tough. In the
Robert Parker says, Prez, watch your mouth on Jones.
and then Lottie says Star is hot too. But Josh, I know you could see where I'm coming from this, and I'm just trying to look out for Hot Take Johnny, rest of the Giants fans out there. I know from the Zach excuses, like you can't keep saying, well, if this happens, if that happens, and then next you know it's 5 years
Fall
later.
into a
You can't
trap.
just keep waiting.
No, of course, as Jet fans, I mean, we've seen this for how many years?
Right, exactly. So I think
Between Darnold and then going through the coaches and the quarterbacks and the coaches and the quarterbacks and the GMs.
Dude, Josh, I love that. I love it.
and I think for everybody, it's like you go back to the college days. If you have to think about it, then what do you think it for? You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Briley knows.
Like you said, you never wanted Zach. I never wanted Zach. All these quarterbacks were never really proven. Sam didn't prove anything in USC. He played against nobody.
Gino didn't.
Great behind that line.
Gino didn't prove anything. Freaking
nope.
All that didn't prove anything.
I think Gino, I mean, come on. I mean, that example is less than 1% of the whole league. That never happens where you're so bad where you're almost out of the league and then you're a Pro Bowler. That never happens.
I know.
This, 9 years into his career?
Look at the difference of teams he had.
Right. No, but I'm saying that never happens. Ever. Like where
no, I mean, not too many quarterbacks get the opportunity to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See, Lonnie says Debbie does do the weather sometimes on ABC.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know if you remember originally I was talking about Debbie with the weather, and Lonnie's like, no. Like she does
Debbie
the
Duhane.
Yeah, and I get it. Obviously, on Rick and Dave, she's doing the traffic report.
She's that
of course.
funny when she's like, I'm Debbie Duhane, and I'm sad about Aaron Rodgers. Now the traffic sucks.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before, but of course the fact, you don't have any other, update, traffic report where the person is engaging and it's not just some like boilerplate report.
Yeah.
The fact that she engages every time, I mean,
I know.
you just don't see that.
I know, it's great.
Yeah, it's the rest of the traffic reporters on ESPN. What's her name? Brandy Scott. They're all recorded.
Right, exactly. So yeah, it's a completely.
I'm Brandy Scott. Come get some.
Brandy.
It's a completely.
No, that's not Brandy Scott.
I know.
That's Michelle
I
Stevens.
know. I just love doing that because she's mad annoying. She sounds like the chick from White Man Can't Jump. Come get some.
Rosa Perez?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Too funny.
You'll never get that out of your head now.
So yeah, we wanted to get to the picks, and obviously you guys, up right now by a half game, 2-1 last week. We went 1-1
Time
and
for you
1.
guys to go down, baby.
So let's hear it, Josh. The 3 picks against the spread for this week.
Quick, gotta go.
All right, so this week I went to a few members and I got their best game of their week.
Throw a couple shekels up there. Could be a nice payday.
First, we're gonna go with Hot Take Johnny's pick, who was just on the line, and we're gonna go KC giving the 13.5 to the Bears in KC.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're saying KC minus 13?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Giving the 13.5.
Hey, we could actually give you 12.5 because that's what ESPN.com has. So little advantage there.
There you go.
All right, I'll
We're not
say
playing
12.
patty cake
I'll write that down. All right, second, we got Chief. I hit up Chief.
Oh,
Chief gave me the Bills. I got minus 6.5. What do you guys have?
all right. Very good there. Bills.
Plus 6.5. Plus 6.5. Well, minus 6.5.
Oh,
yeah,
minus 6. Minus 6.
Minus 6. Okay, so we'll go minus 6. And then last pick, we got Lonnie. He took the Jags minus 8.5.
Jags minus 8.5. So a favorite weekend here. So that should be interesting.
That's
See
a good pick, Lonnie.
how that plays out. But I mean, looking at that, and Jags disappointing effort last week. Against the Chiefs, I think it's a good one going up against a rookie quarterback. So that's a solid 3. And let's see. So for our picks, or actually, wait, how can we? There's no way to patch Tony in, is there?
Should I call him?
I just didn't want him to get tight, like me just making the picks. You know what I'm saying?
I could call him. Let's try.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we could patch Tony in here, Josh. So appreciate you hanging on.
Wow,
Tony in the car.
Hold on, we're merging. Are we all together? Talk to me, boys.
Oh, Josh is on the line too.
Let's go.
Oh! What up? Yo, how we doing, boys?
This is quite the
Great show
collaboration.
so far, guys.
Appreciate it, Tony. How's the drive going?
So far, smooth sailing. Definitely a few wackos on the road right now, Brian. Though.
Wow, the doofus himself.
People, honestly, dude, there's a little bit of traffic. I guess it's just the flow, but then there's those people who insist on weaving.
Wow.
And
Yeah, those people have to go over the speed limit, pushing the pedal.
Fuck outta here.
We got to get those guys off the road. Fuck off, Tony. Okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to check with you. Did you have any picks? And Josh just gave us his 3 picks. KC minus 12.5, Bills minus 6, Jags minus 8. Did you have any picks in mind that you wanted for the DTV picks here against the spread?
Are we allowed to go heads up with? Can we go heads up?
We could.
Let's get it
Whatever you want.
Yeah, we could do whatever you want. So I just wanted to make sure you at least got a pick or two in here. Just to make it fair. So, what are we thinking?
For me personally, I'm thinking the Chiefs are not going to cover that spread.
Really? Okay, so Tony Fields looks so bad, and the Chiefs haven't started humming on offense
I
yet,
don't
though.
hate that.
But you know what? I got it. We're gonna hold. You know what, Tony? Unlike the Jets with Zach Wilson, we're gonna hold you accountable if you get this one wrong. So we're gonna pencil in the Bears plus 12.5 here. So that's Tony's pick. For mine, for this, I'm gonna go with the Lions here. Laying 3 against the Falcons. The Falcons have looked good running the ball, but Ritter on the road here against a really good Lions team, I don't see it happening. So give me the Lions minus 3.
Oh, look at his smile!
Smile crack. And then let's go to Raleigh for the third one. Could you give us a third picker? I think we're due for a dog. I mean, I guess we did go Bears, but I don't know. I don't like that one. So I'm giving Tony the benefit of the doubt here.
I got a dog for you. A small dog, but still a dog. I like the Chargers +1 against the Vikings.
Love it. Love it. I think it's over for the Vikings. I understand the Chargers. We talked about them, having trouble meeting expectations, but they're a better football team than the Vikings. Yep. I think it's that simple. So that's it. So we got Bears plus 12.5, Lions minus 3, Chargers +1 going up against KC minus 12.5, Bills minus 6, and Jags minus 8.
I like our chances.
We got to overtake the company here. Half game to work with.
Yeah, baby. We got a lot of time to go. We got a long time to go, but I'm feeling confident. I got faith in my fellow people and my fellow family and the company. We're going to get it done.
Let's go. Let's go. You know what's interesting? We all avoided that Jets-Patriots game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that was, good move.
Yeah, no. I always stick away from
Tony.
We're not touching it.
I was just going to kind of a little off topic here, but I was just curious, Tony. I know we kind of ran through it roughly yesterday. What's the schedule for you? What's the ETA? What do we got?
All right, so ETA is about 45 minutes out right now.
Okay.
I am headed to the hotel first. Going to be checking in. Ceremony is at a cathedral, 2 o'clock. And then the reception is back at the hotel, 5 o'clock.
Fuck out of here. Boy, that's a long day of drinking, Tony.
It is going to be a long day, but you know how we do it, dude. We're starting early and we're starting off.
All right, and I trust you to keep the hydration in check, Tony.
The drinking.
But as long as you keep the hydration in check, we need you at full energy Sunday morning.
We need you to double it down on Sunday, baby. Everybody together.
Sunday's going to be
Jets. Oh man, that's great. That's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, appreciate you checking in with us, Tony, giving us your pick here, and let's go with these picks, huh?
Hell yeah, baby, a tight dog.
And we're gonna run through all the games, ourselves here. But before we let you guys go, anything else you guys wanted to mention here before we switch it up?
Be ready to bring a poncho.
Yeah, dude, bring a poncho and umbrella for sure, dude.
Yeah, luckily,
it's gonna be raining down some touchdown passes.
Yeah, let's go.
No,
let's go.
Case.
But
the prices keep getting lower and lower and lower on those seats.
Destiny, Josh, destiny.
Barnes, I've never been to a regular season football game.
I mean, I feel like it's just like we're making it happen.
I was looking last night.
I don't care if there's a monsoon. We're going.
It was $57 last night.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be paying us to go in by the end of the day.
Would have watched Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. They should be paying us.
Fuck out of here.
Dude, that's my favorite soundbite.
Yeah, it is.
The
It
way
is.
you say that is
Yeah,
amazing.
I really tried to say it as I was Lonnie. That's what I tried to do
That's
there.
great.
But
Yanni.
good stuff there, fellas.
Josh loves it.
Can't wait for Sunday and appreciate you guys checking in. Or in Mystic, right? Mystic Village.
All right,
There? Even
yeah.
Mystic Village, right?
Can't wait.
All right. Have a safe drive,
Let's go.
Tony.
Shout out to
Josh,
company.
Yes.
we'll obviously talk to you, but can't wait for Sunday.
Yes, sir. Shout out to company. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thanks, boys.
Appreciate you guys. Let's go. All right. So that was good stuff. And now it is finally time, Michael, to
Yes.
cue up the music. Are the games ready to go? Are you ready to go, Michael?
Am I ready to go? I was born ready to go.
Wait, one second. I know I'm kind of interrupting
Yes.
here, but I feel like, since Tony's not here, I think we should have Riley's opinion of each game too after I go.
100%.
So we'll start with me and then go to Riley on each
and
one.
then back to you.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. All right. Starting at the 1 o'clock game, fellas. Indianapolis Colts versus the Daniel Jones comparing speed Baltimore Ravens with Jackson.
All right. So we
That
were
was
just
nuts.
talking about this. And actually,
That's a hot take.
there's one factor here that I need to look into. And I don't know if you have anything on this, Riley. Is Richardson in?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So it is
I
going to
do
be
not believe
Minshew.
so.
I love that. I almost think it's a blessing in disguise. And I know it doesn't make sense. A young Colts team going into Baltimore. Usually it's tough to play Baltimore when they're playing at home. But I don't know. I don't like the look of this Baltimore Ravens team. They already lost Dobbins. So I'm all in here on Gardner Minshew going into Baltimore.
Because he has a
350 through the air, 3 touchdowns. And let's go. Colts, we're going to say 28, Ravens 17.
Bet the mortgage.
I'm right with you there. I got the Colts +8 in this game. I do think the Ravens might win this game, but the Colts keep it close the whole way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Love that. I love that. I stand with the both of them.
Let's do it.
Next game, 1 o'clock this Sunday. We have Tennessee versus Cleveland.
All right. So this one, obviously the big loss for the Browns. Chubb being out. Cooper banged up. I think he'll play. Watson has looked terrible. So this is tough. Ford did a good job filling in. They just signed Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
A lot of expectations for Cleveland. I haven't been high on them, though. So that's why it doesn't make sense. I don't like Tannehill, but I don't know. I'm just seeing Derrick Henry running for 200 yards, a classic 1970s game. Give me the Titans here.
Such a good era.
13-10 over the Browns.
I like the Browns here. The Browns defense looked fantastic last week against Steelers, even though the Steelers do suck. Kenny Pickett sucks. But the Titans secondary, not
boy.
that great. I think Amari Cooper has a big day from Deshaun Watson. I think the Browns win this game and cover -3.5.
Wow. The duel. All right. 1 o'clock. We have the ATL at 2-0 versus the Detroit Lions.
All right, yeah. So for this one, this was our DTD pick. I got to go with the Lions. I think the Falcons, are definitely improving, and they've done a good job of having a good young core there. But I just don't believe in Desmond Ridder, that he's going to be able to throw the ball when he needs to. Look at what Jared Goff has done so far this season. 576 through the air, 4 touchdowns, just threw his first interception since week 9 last year. So I have a lot of confidence in this Lions offense. I don't think the Falcons defense is terrible, but at the same time, I think the Lions are just a better football team than the Falcons. So we're going to say Lions 35, Falcons 21.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a crazy spread, only being at +3. I wish it was +8, then I would take the Falcons, because I think the Falcons actually are not that bad. Bijan's a beast. Drake London's a beast. Ridder, who knows, but he hasn't looked terrible. And Arthur Smith has been calling great plays and looks good at the helm there. But +3 is just not enough. I think the Lions are a good team. I think they're a playoff team, actually. And to be a playoff team, you have to beat a team like the Falcons by more than 3 points. I like the Lions -3 in this game, and I like the over at 46.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's almost like every game with the Lions, it's hard not to like the over.
Yep.
David Montgomery with that injury, but you would imagine that means that Gibbs is going to play a bigger role moving forward. And you know what they say in this business? We talked about it the other day. Timing is everything. Michael, back with the water bottle. What we got next?
All right, the next game we have New Orleans versus Green Bay.
All right, so this is interesting. The Saints are 2-0. The Packers are 1-1. That tight loss last week to the Falcons was tough for the Packers, but I like what I'm seeing out of them. Aaron Jones, though, iffy for this game, with that hamstring injury that he sat out last week.
Yeah.
Also, Christian Watson hasn't played yet this season, and I was just going to take a quick look here. It looks like he's questionable. Just want to see what we got for the – it says, was a non-participant for Thursday's practice as part of a maintenance plan for their wideout rather than because of a setback. So I'm going to say Christian Watson's in, 6'4", second-year wide receiver out of North Dakota State. I think that's a game changer. The Saints, it looks like they're going to be without Jamal Williams, that big offseason acquisition. I know they're 2-0. I like the defense. The only problem is I don't like Derek Carr. I like what Jordan Love has done. I think to the surprise of many, he's mobile. He's rolling out of the pocket. He's making throws. So give me the Packers in this one. Lower scoring game than I think, people are expecting. But give me the Packers. I'm going to say 21-14.
Everything you said was a great point. I think the Saints defense is really good. I think you could make an argument that the Saints defense could be the best defense in the league. And I think this is super low scoring because, like you said, I think Derek Carr has an awful day. I don't think Derek Carr is that good. But I also think the rookie or the second-year quarterback here, or Jordan Love, is going to struggle against this Saints defense. So I think it's going to take the under in this game. It's going to go under 42.5. And I do like the Saints plus 1.5.
All right.
Wow. All right. Next game, we have Houston, who Barnes loves. Just joking, because remember last time you said you compared someone like a quarterback to
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember that. But first, Jacksonville at 1-1. Who do you got?
All right, yeah. So looking at this game, we talked about it. The Jags, last week, that tough loss, only 9 points that they scored against the Kansas City Chiefs. Perfect get right spot. ETN under 4 yards of carry so far, but I think this is a big game for him. We've seen Ridley make an impact up to this point as well. And Evan Ingram hasn't exploded yet. I could see him having a big game. I think this could get ugly quick. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to throw for 4 touchdowns, 365 through the air.
Yes.
And in a complete romping, we're going to have the Jags 42, Texans 13.
Wow. Yep, absolutely love it. Give me the over in this game, and I'll even buy some more points to get this to -14.5. This is going to be a blowout. Blowout. The Jags blow them out. This is on Trevor Lawrence. It's a get-back game, like you said. I think this team is a good team. I think they could be even a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year. They can make it even farther this year. The Jaguars blow them out and get back on track.
Riley's so hyped. I'm going to bring him down right now with Matthew saying Jets beating the Pats. Book it, baby. Riley, It's over.
Yeah. Just wait till we get to that game. Just wait.
Just wait, he says. All righty then. We have Denver at 0-2 going against Tua Tagovailoa.
It's so funny. This is one of those games you look at it. There's just no way to see Denver coming into Miami, beating the Dolphins. And I don't like doing stuff that's very common. And, as they say, Riley, betting with the public here. But I think the Dolphins are absolutely going to hammer the Broncos here. Tua looks so comfortable. I know the Pats made those second half adjustments, but the Broncos, I think, different beast than going up against the Pats defense here. So I think Tua, he's honestly going to throw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill will have 2 touchdowns and 200 yards of those 400. And I think the Dolphins, we're talking about landslides here. We're going to say 35-10.
Yeah, this spread scares the shit out of me. Plus 6.5, they should blow them out. I feel like I don't know what Vegas knows over there. It scares me. But like you said, I feel like you have to take the Dolphins -6.5. The Dolphins, it's in Miami. The Broncos, I don't know. Maybe Russ cooks something up. But I still think the Dolphins are a top 5 team in the NFL. And I think Tua has a good game. Tyreek goes for 100. Dolphins -6.5.
I believe it's unlimited
Mister.
for Miami to win it all right here. Like drop 40 on them. Next game we have the Chargers versus Minnesota.
All right, yeah. So we talked about this one. Obviously, Minnesota 0-2. Chargers 0-2. So both teams desperate for a win. Minnesota at home here. We know about Justin Jefferson, but it's just for the feeling I'm getting, and I know Eckler's out, so that obviously hurts the Chargers, but I believe so much more in Justin Herbert than I do Kirk Cousins. And I know this is a Kirk Cousins spot at home against a bad coach, but he also is against a great quarterback. So this has the potential, I think, to be a shootout. But at the end of the day, if one quarterback has to go down the field and win it, I think it's going to be Justin Herbert. So this is going to be one of the highest scoring games of the season so far. Give me the Chargers 38, Vikings 35.
Love it. I'm on the Chargers too. Both teams are 0-2. This is you could almost slap a must win on this game for both teams week 3. The Chargers have playoff aspirations, even longer aspirations than that. Super Bowl aspirations, some might say. They're going to win this game. It's going to be a shootout. Like you said, the over is 54. I think they smashed that. It's going to be a shootout. Both teams going back and forth down the field. But I think, like you said, Justin Herbert is the better quarterback. He's a fantastic quarterback, and I think he makes more passes than Kirk Cousins does down the stretch of this game. Chargers win by 1 possession. I'll take him +1.
All righty then. The next game we have on the agenda here is this Sunday. We will be there tailgating, having fun. We have New England coming into East Rutherford, but to play the Jets. What do we got, boys?
One more time, Michael. Jets, Jets. Everybody knows how I feel about Zach Wilson, how I feel about this matchup going against the Patriots. I really do believe in my heart of hearts, if this were to get ugly, this could be the last straw for Zach.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know next week they're going to bring in some type of veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
But we know what the game plan is here. Lonnie talked about it when he called into Dan Grassa the other night. Run the ball. You got to play good defense. And you got to have some trickery as well. We talked about flea flickers, end arounds, and get Garrett Wilson the ball. And I understand, yes, we don't have confidence in Zach dropping back, completing a 20-yard pass. How about throw a 3-yard pass, a 2-yard pass? How about just a pitch to Garrett Wilson? I think they're going to do stuff like that. I think this is going to be low scoring. And I could see Zach Wilson maybe only throwing for 150 yards. But if we rush for 150 yards, we win this game. Total set very low here at 36. But believe it or not, I'm going to say it goes under that, which just seems ridiculous, and I would never feel comfortable taking that. But that's what I think is going to happen here. And I think the Jets, a game-winning field goal. Greg Zuerlein, I believe, back from injury here from 56 to win the game. Almost the same type of walk-off feel of that Week 1 victory against the Bills. But Jets 17-14 over the Patriots.
Yeah, I think this game, I don't know, man. Patriots -2.5 win this game because of Zach Wilson. If it was Aaron Rodgers, they win this game because of Zach Wilson. We played him 2 times last year. He threw us 5 interceptions. He's thrown us 7 interceptions in his career. And you want to know something? In his first game against the Patriots, he threw 3 interceptions. Second game, 0. His third game, 4. His fourth game, 0. You know what this game means? He's going to throw 3 or 4. That's just what's going to happen. Patriots -2.5.
No, so now I will chime in. Zach attack, quack, quack. This will be poetic justice. The game last year that put him on the bench will be the game this year that takes his job back. Zach attack, 40 in the rain, saying, what's going on? How you doing? And a win for the Jets.
Hope we see it.
All right, we'll see.
Second attack, quack, quack. Next game, I think this is the last 1 o'clock it is. We have Buffalo versus Washington.
All right, so we look at this. The Commanders' second-year quarterback, Sam Howell, they're 2-0. Just got Ron Rivera's 100th win last season. The Bills, disappointing Week 1 loss to the Jets. They rebound with a big win over the Raiders last week. So going into this one, I really do expect the Bills to win this game. And I know we've talked about the concerns of Allen, and we do know that Washington, definitely has a really good defensive line. So what I would say here is The Bills win, but don't cover. They're 6-point favorites. I think this is going to be a 24-21 victory for the Bills, and I think they're going to rely more on the running game. Dalvin Cook's brother James last week had a career high in rushing yards. I think he goes over 100 again, and the Bills take this one.
I got Washington defense being stingy and this game being real close all the way to the end. It's at home for the Commanders. I think Josh Allen makes some bonehead plays like he has been making recently, trying to do too much. I like the Commanders outright at plus 225. I think there's value there, and I think the Commanders win this game outright.
Josh says, I think you're right about that Broncos spread, Riley. Something is fishy.
It is fishy. That spread is
fishy, but I would never feel comfortable in a million years laying plus 6.5, or even if it was 7. No, thank you.
All righty then. The 405, we have Carolina versus Seattle.
All right, so this one, the Seahawks come in here 1-1. They had that disappointing loss to the Rams week 1. They bounced back last week in a close game against the Lions. You look at the Panthers, not official yet, but it looks like they're going to be without Bryce Young, and they're obviously coming off that disappointing loss to the Saints on Monday Night Football. And if it is Andy Dalton, if it is Bryce Young, does it really matter? I think this is just really going to be a very, very, very long season for the Panthers. And I think the Seahawks against weaker opponents, we know they have some flaws to their team, but when they're clearly a level ahead of the other team, I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to win this game. And I know this is very similar to what Josh says with the other game, Lions fishy, especially with Bryce Young questionable, but maybe the whole thought is here, Andy Dalton is better than Bryce Young because Bryce Young has looked horrendous so far. Regardless of that, I like Seattle, and I like Seattle big here. Give me the Seahawks 31-7 over the Panthers.
Yeah, this game is very simple for me. It's the Panthers are coming into Seattle with that offense, which is, I don't know, man. And Seattle blows them out. DK goes for a touchdown. Lockett goes for multiple touchdowns. Seattle blows them out and covers -5.5.
All righty then. We have Dallas versus Arizona. Who you got?
Yeah, this is one where you just, despite the Trevon Diggs injury yesterday in practice, out for the year, you still have Stephon Gilmore, you still have DeMarcus Lawrence, you still have a bunch of dogs on this Dallas defensive unit. Offensively, we know about CeeDee Lamb. I think this is a good opportunity for Tony Pollard as well. This is a game for Dallas, I feel like, where I know it sounds crazy, this is the NFL, but where they should just really work on things that maybe they want to fix, maybe they want to get better at. I just don't see the Cardinals, at home or not, having any chance in this one. We saw Dallas blow out the Giants in week 1, 40-0. I think this is the same type of game. Maybe give the Cardinals a touchdown here, but give me Dallas 35-7.
Yep, love it. Game's easy for me. Cowboys really good. Cardinals really bad. -12.5 hits. Cowboys blow them out. And the over of 43 hits because they might score 40 by themselves, the Cowboys. Easy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Next game, we have the Bears versus Kansas City.
Same type of deal here. We saw about Justin Fields kind of, feuding. It seems like with the team, with the media, there's just a lot going on there. So I just think this is, again, a game that could get ugly quick. Not the fact, too, that your passing game, you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. You are the Bears. You have one of the worst passing attacks in the league. And then you're at Arrowhead, the noise, the passion of that fan base. This is the same thing as the Dallas game. I think the Chiefs take it a step further, though. I think they're disappointed with their offensive output up to this point in the year. So give me Kansas City here. I'm going to say 49-17.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, this is also a late afternoon game. It's a 4:25 game. This is this is almost prime time in Kansas City. Justin Fields is going to be shaking in his boots, and play's going to be loud. I think 12.5 is even generous. I would take him at 15.5, 16.5. I think they blow him out. Bears have no chance. Bears go to 0-3. Chiefs move on to 2-1.
All righty then. Next game at 8:20. We have Pittsburgh, the Steelers, Renee's team versus Vegas.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
I was waiting for that, Michael.
I know. Once I realized it was who they were, because I read Vegas instead of the Raiders.
Yeah. I got you. So
Thank
this is an old school AFC matchup. I mean, I believe even AFL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Going way back here. And looking at this game, I mean, Kenny Pickett, and Chokery is a big Steelers fan as well. Talking to him, he's so disappointed in Pickett. You saw what George Pickens did last week at wide receiver. He's really good. Obviously, Deontay Johnson's out, but we saw the Steelers last week. What did they do? They scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and I think their defense in this one is yet again going to need to carry them. And it's just so weird. We've talked about this with the Raiders all this time. You look at the names, you look at the offensive names, tons of stars, Jacobs, Adams, even Garoppolo. I know there's some question of how good he really is. But as we've seen with him, big spot, tough defense. You do feel like
you feel calm with him as your quarterback.
You're going to make a mistake, though, or you're not going to make like the advanced throw to win a game. So I think this actually goes way under the total. This is a running football game, a defensive football game here. And I'm going to say the Steelers over the Raiders. We're going to go 14-10.
Yeah, I think the Raiders come out with this game at -2.5. It's at home for them on a Sunday night. And I know it kind of goes against everything that we say about Jimmy G, but I think he goes in and has a good game this Sunday. I just got the feeling. I have no facts for you. Just got a feeling. And, yeah, I think the Raiders post out -2.5 and Raiders Sunday night.
Wow. Monday Night Football at 7:15.
Or would you save it for Monday?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Because we're probably, right?
Yes,
Gonna
totally.
be Monday, so,
Definitely.
okay, yeah. So, yeah, we'll save those. But doubleheader, Eagles, Bucks, Rams, Bengals.
I am excited.
But should be another great week in the National Football League. So we're so excited about that. But as we wrap up here, the only other thing, that I wanted to mention, other than, of course, again, pump for Sunday, it's the Jets' time to step up here. Let's, change the trajectory of this season. I know it's been a lot of negative other than the week 1 win up to this point, the Rodgers injuries, this and that. But Yankees, of course, out of it. But stay above 500 last night, defeating the Toronto Blue Jays 5-3. Garrett Cole, another dominant performance, easily the heavy favorite to win the American League Cy Young. And the Yankees have had only 2 Cy Young Award winners since 1978. One being Louisiana Lightning and Ron Guidry, the other being the Rocket, Roger Clemens. So it's been a long time since we've had a Cy Young Award winner. Cole, after last night's performance, 14-4, 2.75 ERA.
Man,
the numbers are unbelievable. He's hit over 200 innings again. This guy is a workhorse, and it really is a shame, all the flack, all the heat he took. Really, when it comes down to it, and listen, there wasn't an excuse for it, but it all came down to that poor performance in the 2021 wildcard game at Fenway Park. A lot of people turned on him, but as we could see, I mean, he's clearly the most consistent pitcher in baseball this season.
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, he had a fantastic season. I think the biggest thing with him is health. I mean, you want your number one to be healthy the whole year. That should be and he does that for you. And on top of that, he's 14-4 with a sub 3 ERA. Like, that's just what you want out of a number one. It's a shame it came in this season for you guys, honestly. Like, he's been so good for you guys. And he has my vote for AL Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it too, 217 strikeouts, 102 whip. And he's done all of this in 200 innings. He pitched 200 innings last year. And he really too, because of the, outstanding years he had in Houston, his ERA, is lower with them than it has been with the Yankees up to this point. But the rare example of where a pitcher has come over to the Yankees and pitched, up to expectations and really, in some cases, exceeded them usually. But even Roger, you look at it, better seasons in Toronto, better seasons in Boston. Also, though,
but he
came over at a later point in his career, and he did answer the bell. 1 in 99, 1 in 2000. We saw him win a World Series with the Houston Astros as well. So Like,
Yeah, that
needless,
sucked.
point being, it's just been a while that we've had a pitcher that we can count on. And one thing, too, that you have to give him credit for, a lot of thought last year. I mean, geez, how good is Garrett Cole even? His ERA finished at 3.5. I know he broke the Yankee strikeout record at 257, but he allowed an American League leading 33 home runs. He's reduced that by 13 home runs this year. I think he won his first 7 starts without allowing a home run. So that's really stepping up, and pumped to have him in pinstripes for the rest of his career. But it is just tough, as we've mentioned many times, not having your team in the postseason. And I've said many times, I'm just curious, Riley, your thoughts. I really I can't even watch postseason baseball when my team's not in it. Do you watch?
No, it's because when your team's not in the NFL playoffs, you watch postseason football.
Right.
With baseball, I feel like if it goes to a game 6 or 7, I will tune in, but it's more of background. I'm not going to sit there where if my team was in, I'm not even I'm locked on every single pitch.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I do think MLB postseason is fantastic. If there's a good series, I'm going to watch just like Braves. But the thing is with the MLB, I think the Braves are so much better than every other team. I don't see them having any difficulty in the NL. Maybe a Dodgers series with them would be a good series. But, I mean, anyone coming out of the NL Central is awful. That division's awful. The AL Central is awful. I don't know. The wild card series might be one of the best series that we get in the postseason because you're gonna get a Toronto Rays situation, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I will tune in for some stuff, but not everything because without my teammate like you, I just don't really have the motivation.
And I think too, I mean, it's always wide open. We see wild card teams, win all the time.
All the time.
And the fact too, I mean, let's be real. The Braves, maybe sure they've taken it to slightly a larger level this season, but they were great last year, and then were out right away.
Yeah,
the
true.
Phillies were terrible. The Padres were terrible. That was the matchup in the NLCS. So you really just don't know till you get there.
You gotta get in.
And like what you're saying, there's just I've said, and I know a lot of people, especially you. I'm sure you find this annoying too. I can't stand the people. How do you like baseball? It's so boring. Why do you need to watch the whole game? All of that nonsense. But I think baseball is in any sport has the best postseason. It's the most exciting. It's the most nerve-wracking. And just all that goes into it. The starting pitcher, how long he goes, fixing the bullpen, defensive replacements late, pinch runners, all the stuff that goes into it. I know football, money-wise, rating-wise, will always be key.
That's because it's one game. And it's
exactly. But there's nothing like a postseason series. And that just, you can't duplicate that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach when your team's trying to rally in the 9th inning, your team's trying to close down the mound. And it's been a long time since I've experienced this, or when you're trying to close out a World Series. It's been so long. I swear to God, it doesn't make sense. It's only 14 years. I was 17 back then, but I don't even remember what it was like to win the World Series. I really don't. Yeah. I know it's a little more recent for you.
Yeah. It's a great feeling.
How would you describe it though? I mean, it's just cloud 9. I mean,
it's
just to simplify
it. It's more of a relief. Yeah. It's that's over.
Yeah.
That's over. We did it. We did it. I was a junior in high school. So less than 2018. So 5 years ago. It's the best. 2013 was the best one. The best feeling for me. That was the Ortiz Boston Marathon bombings. Yeah. That one was really cool. And then 2018 went to the parade. So the parade's fun.
Yeah.
But it's the best feeling.
So hopefully get to experience that sooner rather than later. I know Michael can't wait to see it.
I literally can't.
I just feel like I have to make sure I think I will, because I don't usually get too crazy with stuff, but just the way I'm gonna react, just not to break anything.
We don't know how you're gonna react.
There's no doubt in my mind that things are breaking.
Yeah.
Tears are coming. Joy and just all, like you just said, it's been that long for you. It's gonna be all those moments of heartache and questioning. All come to the win.
And believe me, I've thought about it many times, Michael, as you can imagine.
And before we go, Lonnie says, I just got the feeling, no facts for you. That's a drop. Clip it.
Now, did I say that?
Riley did.
Oh, okay. About which game was
the
that?
Raiders game.
Oh,
Raiders game.
Okay. Gotcha. But once again, fellas, a great show, a great week.
Yes,
And we
great
couldn't
show.
do it, without all of you. We appreciate every
you.
day you guys commenting, liking, subscribing, calling in. You guys really are the best. Of course, as always, shout out to the company. And we encourage everybody to check out the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy the weekend. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you on Sunday.
Let's go.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love